Hey everybody, it's Kelly from Secret Oracle, and tonight I just wanted to do a video to go over pendulums. Pendulums are probably like the best form of divination if it's going to be your first foray into divination. They're very personal, they're very fun to use, it's very fun to go pick out your pendulum, and so it's what we're going to talk about. So this is my box that I keep my very first and most precious deck of tarot cards in, and I also keep my pendulum. Just a couple other things that I keep in here, besides a piece of incense, is this is a selenite egg. This is like a powerhouse crystal. One thing you want to be aware of with your selenite is when you're cleansing it that you do not want to get this one wet. Okay? Quartz, yes. Charge it, rinse it underwater, clear it that way, everything. Selenite, never get it wet. This is actually my tarot cards. I'll show you guys real quick. It's my old, worn out deck. I really don't show this stuff to anybody, so this is my very first. The old Rider-Waite. You can't get it with that background anymore. I love these cards. And this is their home, so take good care of your cards. Anyway, pendulums. So I keep mine in a little drawstring pouch. And my pendulum, I probably got it close to 20 years ago. My pendulum is a hematite pendulum. And so hematite is a crystal that is black in color. It often feels very, well, to me, it feels very cold to the touch. And it's very heavy. It's got a good solid weight to it. Hematite is very, very good for grounding. One thing that I want to point out with pendulums is that you'll see that this is a solid link right here. And these are all solid links all the way to the end. And then we have this little ball at the end, and this is also just another tiny little piece of hematite. It's getting harder and harder to find pendulums that are not just like a necklace clasp chain onto the bottom. I don't like those. I will not buy those. I will search high and low, and I will find one like this. You may even, if there are no metaphysical shops in your area, you may even need to go to like a crystal show or like a trade show or something like that. But I would recommend holding out for that kind of pendulum without the clasp. I just think that it's a little bit of a nicer choice. So when you first get your pendulum, you can charge it. You can also cleanse it first. I did not cleanse this one first. I simply charged it. But one thing that you can do is get a bed of like kosher salt, and you can just simply lay it in the kosher salt bed. You can wrap it around the base of a plant outside and let it sit outside overnight, but I would never do that personally just because I'd be afraid of losing it, or maybe some animal with like something shiny and run off with it or something like that. So but again, you don't really need to do that unless you have your pendulum to do like a very specific work. Like when I do my Akashic Records readings, I do use a completely different pendulum that is only dedicated, has been charged and attuned for that work. Very much different purpose. So when you first get your pendulum, I prefer to, sometimes I hold it with my right hand. I am right-handed. Some people do like to use their left hand or their power hand, whatever, but basically the bottom line is whatever works for you is the best thing to do. When you first get your pendulum, what you want to do is say, "Show me yes." And it will show you what yes looks like. And so as you can see, my arm is still and my pendulum is moving in circles. Sometimes it will come to a stop in between. Sometimes you have to say stop. And you can see I said stop and it stopped. So I'm going to say show me no. Now I already know because I've been using this one for so long, I already know what my yeses and what my nos look like. It might be a little bit hard to see here on the video, but my no is a line back and forth. So my yeses are circles, my no's are a line back and forth. Sometimes you can ask it to say, you know, show me maybe. I do not use mine like that because anything could really be a maybe. I feel like if you start letting your answers come to you as maybe, then you're really not getting clear answers from the universe, and that's not what you want. Nothing is set in stone when you use a pendulum, but it could give you some good guidance. I would put out the warning that you should not base decisions or, you know, anything serious, anything life-changing. You should not be, you can ask your pendulum, but you should not be letting that set the foundation for your decision-making. You really need to use some common sense. You need to, you know, think about it from a practical standpoint as well. So that's pretty much about it for pendulums. One thing that I like to do, just because I can feel energy in the palm of my hands, and because you can influence your pendulum. So if you are sitting here and you really want your answer to be yes, the answer will be yes, because you are subconsciously influencing this. So what I like to do is I actually hold my hand like this. I only hang on to this part. You will see some people wrap it like this around their finger. It does have a little bit more movement that way, but I also feel like it's a little bit harder to tell. Is it because I'm moving it? Is it because there's so much tension on the chain? You know, so I like to hold it out like this. I will actually close my eyes and I will just say my question in my head. And I will not open my eyes. I just think of like a black screen, a black sky, just completely black. And the reason for that is because I do not want to influence the way my pendulum moves at all. So I like to actually just close my eyes like this, think of my question in my head, and then once I start to feel the energy moving on my palm from this point, you'll see there's a point, I will actually start to feel it, and then once I start to feel it, then I will open my eyes and I will look and see which way it's going. Most people don't read like that with their pendulums, but that's just a method that works for me. It's something that I've developed over years and years of doing this, and so that's what I would recommend. When you go to pick out your pendulum, what you want to do is you want to try it out, and you want to say, you know, is this the pendulum for me? And mine is already saying, yes, of course, this is the pendulum for you. You'll know the right one when you feel it, when you see it. You'll know it when you hold it in your hand. I don't want to ever recommend to go buy one sight unseen, to order it off the internet. If you can, I mean, if that's your only option, that's your only option. But it really is best to have a hands-on approach, just like when you're picking out your crystals. So that's a quick lesson on pendulums. We can talk another time about dowsing, how to ask questions. The best thing that you can do is yes or no questions. Obviously, you can't ask an open-ended question because it can only give you yes or no answers. So good luck. Hope you guys find great pendulums and practice, practice, practice. Many blessings to you guys.